And when it comes to quote unquote cheating and this sticky substance, or if an offensive lineman is grabbing on the interior and he's holding, you often hear you could call holding every play, and that's true. So, from that standpoint, cheating or getting a competitive advantage or the unwritten rules of sports, that's always been a part of sports, and that's not going to change. When we use a negative connotation like the word cheating, then we frown upon it and we look at it in a certain way. Just like we looked at the New England Patriots when it came to Deflategate or stealing signs. That happens in sports all the time. It's like you're supposed to do any and everything you can to get a competitive advantage because the name of the game is winning. So if we want to use the word cheating, is that a part of sports? Sure. Cheating has always been a part of sports. Doing the little things is never going to change. And if MLB wants to change that, then what they're really saying is we want to change some of the unwritten rules of sports because this has been going on for a long time. So you basically want to go and take away some of the little nuances that pitchers and players have used for a long time. But Molly, to directly answer your question, it's a part of sports because the name of the game has always been winning, and we as athletes will do any and everything to win. Just like when Max goes against Stephen A on a daily, Max tries to pull up every argument. Max will lie to himself to beat Stephen A in an argument. So anytime you can do anything you can to win,
true.
that always happens.
That
Are
was
you under the impression that I've
most
ever
intelligent
lost
thing
an
I've heard
argument,
all
not
day.
just on this show, but anywhere? Are you actually under that impression, Boog?
Yes, I am. I've watched several, and I've
deluded.
actually won a couple of them.
Deluded. Go ahead, Perk.
You know what? Hey, Boog, you said something real interesting that caught my attention, and it's levels to it, right? Like you just said. And when you think about is cheating part of sports, you got to say yes, right? Because just think about scouting reports, right? Getting inside, having scouts go to gyms and or to arenas and scout people plays, knowing team playbooks. Is that cheating? Probably so, right? I mean, if you know a opponent plays or playbook, that is some type of form of cheating. So yes, cheating is in sports. I look at the game of basketball today, right? It's a lot of acting going on. It's a lot of flopping. To me, that's cheating because you're selling to the referees to make a call when you know that you're flopping. By the way, the NBA just went away with the rules and fines of flopping because it's getting ridiculous. It's getting back out of hand. Some of the people that are flopping in today's game, and it's cheating the game of basketball. So I'm with you on this one, Booger. It's certain scenarios that it's just cheating is part of sports. I mean, scouting reports. Me going to going into playoff series, and by the time you get to game 3. Every team know each other's plays and personnels and tendencies. I mean, that's a form of cheating.
I like, Boog, your speeding metaphor, right? So if you're going 62 and a 55, if you see the cop and you keep doing 62, maybe he pulls you over. You're not going to cheat, so to speak, right in front of him. But if they're hiding and they catch you going 62 and a 55 and they pull you over, you could legit say to the cop, like, really, 62 and a 55? And he might say, yeah, in other words, like, yeah, you're getting the business today. And a lot of cheating, the way clubs do it in every sport, is 62 and a 55. It's culturally accepted that way. We're going to push it a little bit. And some of it's going 120 in a 55, 110, 120 in a 55. And it's a different kind of penalty. It's like, no, that is extreme. Shaq even talked about during Deflategate that, hey, I used to deflate the basketballs. Hold on, Shaq, really? Yeah, because I didn't have a big hand like Michael Jordan. I wanted to be able to, right, that's why one of the reasons you weren't as good as Michael Jordan, right? He didn't get to be 7 feet, nothing he could do about that, but you wanted an advantage, so you deflated the ball. But in the culture of the NBA, that kind of flew under the radar. He felt comfortable enough saying it. There's a guy, Gaylord Perry, who's in the Hall of Fame in baseball, whose autobiography was titled The Spitter and Me, I think it was. In other words, he threw a spitball and got to the Hall of Fame, and everyone just kind of accepted it. That was very different than human growth hormone and steroids, where guys who wouldn't have even made the majors looked like they were Hall of Famers. So the question is not just is cheating philosophically in sports, but it's the degree of the cheating. How far are you willing to push it? I think Garrett Cole feels comfortable saying, yes, I cheat within the culture of my sport, within accepted norms. I'm going 62 and a 55. And people have looked at what the Patriots have done, what the Astros have done, and said, no, you're doing 100 in a 55. There's a penalty for that.
But here's the problem. Like, you have those people that literally look at it and say, well, if you're going 62 and a 55, you broke the law. And that breaking the law right there is the same as somebody going out and shoplifting. That's the same as somebody going out and committing manslaughter, because you have people that are so literal, they don't look at this thing in levels. They just look at it and say it's breaking the law, especially when it comes to sports. Sports has always been talked about. Like, we give awards for sportsmanship, for playing the game the right way and doing the right thing. But what these leagues want, think about this now. The NFL has changed the rules so we can get more offense, so we can become more entertaining. The only reason this is coming up in Major League Baseball is because, guess what? The pitchers have too much control. We want to see more runs. We want to see less strikeouts. So we want more entertainment. So we will deal with cheating as long as it's advantageous to the product. We will deal with cheating as long as it's good for the bigger or the greater goal. I think the bigger issue right now is these organizations, NFL, MLB, NBA, whatever it is, you have to make up your mind and then sell it to your fan base. Here's what we're willing to deal with it. Because when you start opening Pandora's box and say, hey, we're going to talk about the sticky substance in baseball, or we're going to talk about the lack of air in a basketball, or the lack of air in a football, I think we're going too far. And when you start trying to legislate by the letter of the law, literally, I think that is a slippery slope to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Boog, I just want to end on this. Molly,
Yeah,
I just
I'm
want
with
to end
you.
on this because finally, we're over 90 minutes in the show, and Max finally said something that made sense. I'm just happy for him. Finally.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.